The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Friday, the 19th day of January 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. Teo Dill will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in his news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Folks, we are live. Like if you say something to me right now, I'll respond. Test it out. Say something crazy, and I'll respond. Yeah, we're back live. But Maya, props to Maya, man. She's been holding it down in my absence and everyone's absence, doing her thing. And I can't tell you, man, how proud I am, because Maya, she is a journalist. She loves her journalism. She does not want to be in talk show stratosphere. She doesn't want to be in that space because it can be a little tricky at times. But props to Maya for stepping up and doing the thing. And yes, she did. And happy Friday to you, Suzanne Ingham. She says Maya did an awesome job. She's hard. Yes, she did. Like, legit, folks, honestly, I'm not quite sure, what goes into doing one show, like to have a discussion. And I mean, she did an amazing job with the Commissioner of Police. It's a lot. It really is a lot. It's more than just waking up and turning on your computer and going live. You know how it's more than that? Because there's only one group of people who are doing this every day. If it were easier, more people would be going live on their computers every day. So props to Maya for stepping up, but I am back. I think I'm good. I think I'm ready to go and answer you smartly and actually give you a joke as well. Good morning to you, Tanya Cheeseman, and agree, Jackie Eve. She says, yes, well done, Maya. No, props to her, man. I cannot be more proud. She makes doing this job so much easier. Kathy Rogers says, well done, Maya. And Headley, Lauren Darrell says, morning, Maya is awesome. Headley Swan says, Palacio was a boss. She is a boss. And I just want to shout out to Mark Arthur C. Phillips. A big thank you for being a member of our YouTube channel for the last 15 months. He says, good morning, TDH family. Happy New Year, Jamal and team. Is this your first time seeing us this year, Mark? I haven't seen you. Well, what's going on, man? You've been on an extended break. We didn't get one of those on the show. Kathy Rogers says, welcome back to, yes, thank you, folks. Actually, I'll be very transparent with you. I was down with pneumonia, so I was a bit sick. And so I am, finished the meds. I'm back. I still taking it easy as I recover. But, sometimes our bodies, if we don't give our bodies a rest, our bodies are going to take that rest and make sure that we do slow down. So the morning that we did Mark Bean, the Honorable Mark Bean, I felt a little something. And then the next day, Kano, and I was like, okay, something's not right. So went and checked into the ER over the weekend. And so, yeah, it's great to have people like Maya who can step up and step in. And thank you all to the audience. Thank you to the audience who embraces people like Maya and helps her along the way, because again, it takes all of us to really make this happen, to have these important community conversations and just keep going. So we're going to have a conversation this morning because, look, I'm down and out for a couple days, and you all talking about your premiers, talking about a budget every 2 years and so on. So there's a lot going on, a lot we have to do. We haven't had many discussions yet in 2024, and I feel like we have a lot to discuss. So we're going to discuss some of that stuff. And so greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today, as we're going to discuss, as I just mentioned, the suggested 2-year budget thing that, I read it in the Royal Gazette that the Premier had mentioned, or they're considering a 2-year budget. The Daily Play is, well, it's going to be a things you should know. And don't forget, Maya called a few names as well. So I have my little red cup here. Some names, someone's going to win something today if their name was picked out, well, if they won the Daily Play over the last 2 weeks. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. And I mean that because we have some things coming where you're going to want to ensure that you're subscribed on our website. That's going to be the only way to benefit from the things that we have coming up. All right. So make sure you do that. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. But first, do us a favor. Make sure you like this. A lot of people, they don't know we're back live this morning, live. So make sure you share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Let them know the Daily Hour is back live this morning. But before we get into today's conversation, I want to bring my good friend, my colleague, Teo in because I have a joke and I think I can make him laugh. It's not as tough as Maya. I think he, Maya and Sancha and them, they keep these straight faces. Like they hold themselves together because they know I'm funny, right? So they try not to laugh. I don't think Teo is an actor. I don't think he possesses that Hollywood in him, right? I think he's just going to naturally laugh because I'm funny. All right, so let's bring Teo in to see if I can make him laugh at this morning's joke. Do you want a joke, audience? It's been a while. We need a pick-me-up. Do you all want a joke? Let us know. Let's bring Teo in. Morning, Teo.
Hey, morning, Jay. Welcome back. Very glad to hear that you're in good spirits.
Thank you.
But I do have one small correction to your introduction, inaccurate introduction, in fact, to my ability to participate in a joke authentically. You said that Sancha and Maya both think you're funny, but they don't show it.
Yeah, yes.
But you left a word out. And I think once you plunk that in, everything will start to make sense. Sancha and Maya think that you're funny looking.
I see what
but they don't want to hurt your feelings because you won't know if they're laughing at all of this or at the joke. So they just kind of, ride the fence, just stay in the middle.
You just had to insult me.
Yeah.
Well, enough about me. Let's have a joke. Do you want a joke?
Yeah.
All right.
About to show you something.
Here we go, audience. Here's your joke this Friday, January 19th. Teo, Why was the cat so small?
I have no idea.
Audience, why was the cat so small? You ready, Teo?
Yeah.
Because it only drank condensed milk. Get it? Get it? Condensed? Like.
Okay, so I got to say thank you for 2 reasons. Number one, I genuinely did not expect that. And number two, as you know, I am a proud, grateful father, and I'm trying to extend my back catalog of dad jokes. And that, as I understand it, fits all of the criteria for dad jokes. Like, it's so bad, it's actually funny.
See?
You know what I mean?
That's the goal. It works. Look, Larry.
Yeah, I hurt my face holding back the laugh initially. So yeah, I can't front. I did laugh, man. You got that.
She got up. See?
Yeah. I can't front. But that's a dad joke, like 1,000%.
I think we got Tay, folks. Tay, we'll see you in a few with the news.
Yeah, man, sounds good.
Folks, there's your joke. Back with a bang. There you heard it. Got a little something to make you laugh before we get into this serious conversation. All right, so let me just go to our friends over at the Royal Gazette. So there's a headline. It reads, Bert, biennial budgets are a possibility. Yeah. So well, let's go to our good friend. Before we get into that, we have a good friend because I want to make sure I'm not just understanding it to be every 2 years. So according to our friends over at Google, biennial means an event lasting for 2 years or occurring every 2 years. All right. So in both cases, that would be the budget. So basically, according to the Royal Gazette, the Bermuda government is weighing the option of moving to a 2-year budget process instead of yearly budgeting. David Burt has revealed as the delivery of the 24-25 budget approaches next month. The premier said the possible switch was among options under review to streamline the government's balance of revenues and spending. Okay. Question of the morning is very simple. What are your thoughts about the mentioned biennial budgets? What are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts about it? But a quick yes or no question right here. Would you favor the budget every 2 years instead of every year? Yes or no? Would you favor the budget being every 2 years instead of every year? Yes or no? Yes or no? Just a simple yes or no. Would you favor the budget every year? Yes or no? Let's go over to our friends on Instagram. Make sure no one's trying to get in on the conversation. But yes or no, would you favor the budget every 2 years? Yes or no? Yes or no? Let's go to the audience. We've got Charles H. Jeffers II. He says no. Suzanne Ingham says no. Monica Dunstan says no. Tanya Cheeseman says no. Dean Byron says no. Jika Trott says no. Jackie Eve says no. Amari Simon says no. Larry Marshall says no. Griselda Severin says no. Karen Simmons says no. So look, is this what you call consensus, folks? I mean, there's not even a yes in sight. There's not even someone considering maybe. Audience, do us a favor, do me a favor, because this is an important conversation. Again, I know we haven't been live consistently recently, so some people may think we're not live. Please share this link. We're about to have a very important community conversation. I have a lot of notes on my whiteboard this morning. A lot of notes on my whiteboard. Let me just get my marker so I can check things off as I go. But I want us to be very honest this morning during this conversation. I want us to do something that I know is going to be hard. I want us to try to remove the characters out of the equation. I think many of us believe that this is the worst economic state our country has been in our lifetimes, regardless of age. I think we'd all agree with that. But I want us to try to remove the characters, remove the premier, David Burt, remove the PLP from this for a second. And let's have an honest conversation. And what would be the pros? What do you believe would be the pros? Like, what are the question of the morning is, what are your thoughts about the mentioned biennial budget, right? What are the pros of maybe having the budget every 2 years? Sorry. What are the pros? So I've written one, but what are your thoughts? Now, let me be clear. I'm not a finance guy. I pay people to do that. I don't claim to know more than what I can spit out. That's why I have discussions with intelligent people like you every morning. All right? But what are some pros? What are some pros? Let's again forget about David Burt, the premier finance minister, however you want to title him this morning. Forget about that. What are the pros? Come on, somebody's got to have a pro. There's got to be some positive for considering it, right? Oh wow, the audience is not having it. So I'm gonna play that role. I think there's a pro that stands out. We don't know this, but it could be a pro, I should say. It may lower cost to not do a budget every year. It could lower costs, require less resources. It could give the government, whoever they may be, more time to focus on the work at hand versus a budget every 12 months. It could. Now, folks, I'm doing this based just on outside looking in, but it could help reduce costs. That's the only pros I could come up with. Those are the only ones. Anyone else want to help out? What pros? NTS says maybe the creation of the budget puts added responsibilities on technical officers. Sorry, if that reduction in time frees up folks to provide more services to the public. Maybe, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe it will give provide more resources, give people more time to provide more resources in other areas, right? Versus preparing for a budget on an annual basis. Folks, I'm trying. NTS, we're trying. Suzanne Ingham says, there are no pros in my opinion. Fair enough. Suzanne, I honestly, I really get you. I do. I get you. But I believe there are pros in everything. I do. I think there's some spaces. Teo Dill says, yep, there are a bunch of interesting articles on the subject. A few U.S. states have run biennial budgets for decades with mixed outcomes, i.e. some love it, some hate it, the others continue to debate it. That's the thing. I'm thank you for that, Teo. It is done in other jurisdictions. It is done. It's not something. Now, since you all were very low on the pros, what do you believe are some of the cons? What do you believe are some of the cons? Because we're going to get into those. Charles H. Jefferson II says, a pro is that it should allow projects to be done right the first time, as they won't have to rush to get them done in a budget year. This is a stretch, though. See, nothing in politics is done without politics being the purpose of doing it. Remember what the Honorable Mark Bean said last week about CARICOM. It's not that CARICOM is truly a bad idea, but why now? Why now? It's not that biennial budgets are a bad thing. I think we already feel that this government poorly manages our finances. So why give them an extra year without, to some, the checks and balances? I think we're very concerned. Dean Byron says, in today's economic climate, you can't tie your hands with a 2-year budget because we're already operating behind the 8 ball. We're playing catch up now and can't fall further behind. Murray Simon says they already earmark funds for multi-year projects. Larry Marshall says, good point, Charles. Never thought of it that way. Let's bring Teo in for the news. But when we come back, we want to discuss the cons. What concerns us most about biennial budgets? What concerns us most? I have on my whiteboard quite a few things. But folks, this is an important community conversation. This is a conversation that all of Bermuda needs to be a part of. Because I'm going to be honest, while I was sipping my water and taking my meds, I didn't want to read the article. But Sister Sencha, she puts it in the group, said, oh, Sencha, I was trying to avoid it. And I read it. I just shook my head. And it took me back to what the Honorable Mark Bean said last week. What are they distracting us from? Other than the consistent poor governance. It's not necessarily a bad thing, as Teo mentioned. They do it in other spaces. But it's this administration, which is why I asked to move the characters when speaking of the pros of it. Let's bring Tay in for the Daily Hour news break, folks. We're going to continue this most important conversation. Please keep your comments coming. The pros, the cons, and my hope is that, this is supposed to be a listening government. According to this audience this morning, there was a consensus, no, 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 people who don't want biennial budgets for Bermuda. But this is based on what we know so far. Stick with us.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you again for spending time with us this morning and joining us for the Daily Hour news break brought to you by the great folks at People's Pharmacy. Now, to start off, this is obviously the most serious thing by far that we've got in today's report. Another young person is missing, and the BPS are again asking for the community support to locate him. His name is Deshaun Landy. He's 15 years old. He was last seen around 11:10 a.m. yesterday on the Cedar Bridge Academy campus while wearing a gray tracksuit. He's described as being 5 feet 5 inches tall, slim, brown complexion, with short black hair, as you can see right now on the screen. If you have any information as to the whereabouts of 15-year-old Deshaun Landy, you're encouraged to call the BPS at 295-0011 or the Department of Child and Family Services on 278-9111.
Ayo, I just must step in that we did receive note from the Bermuda Police Service this morning that can confirm that 15-year-old Deshaun Landy has been
located. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you, brother.
We love them short like that. Trust me.
Yeah, man. That's what we're looking for. So welcome home, Deshaun. We're glad you're safe. Now, Bermuda Air has just expanded their service, but wait for it. We're not talking about a new low-price early morning run to London. Rather, Bermuda's first airline is now able to help you feed your unbearable Amazon addiction. Now, thank you to the Kindly Spotter on YouTube for putting together this great B-roll for us. Bermuda Air is offering cargo service for shipments between Boston and Bermuda. Cargo service. Also, with the service set to be expanded to and from their other routes to Fort Lauderdale and Westchester, expected to launch soon. Bermuda Air founder and CEO Adam Scott shared, quote, being able to offer another supply chain option for Bermuda's wholesale and retail companies for cost-effective, safe, frequent transportation of goods to and from the island is the latest step in our evolution. The airline can carry cargo with a maximum weight of 45 kilograms per piece at a maximum shipment weight of 1,000 kilos. Now, we've also got some good and not so good, that is bad news on the local fintech scene. We'll start off with the bad stuff. Another shiesty crypto exchange has been associated with Bermuda. However, the good news is they are so shiesty that they have lied about their association with the island. The company is called BitSelects Global, and the Bermuda Monetary Authority has published a release on the subject, explaining that the BMA has not, in fact, issued a license to BitSelects, and that any claims to the contrary are completely fraudulent. So we did a little Googling, and we were able to confirm that BitSelects is museum-grade Fugazi. The company has been operating since 2022. They've already been called out by the Liechtenstein Market Authority. They're not licensed anywhere on the planet. They run excessively aggressive social media marketing. And crucially, you cannot withdraw money from the exchange. So if you got a cousin that's super into crypto, totally dominated the Christmas dinner and New Year's discussion about their Ethereum, just if they mention BitSelects, ignore them just that little bit harder. It'll be in everybody's interest. Also, props due to the Argus Group for the recent 5-figure donation to Open Air Essential Spacer program, helping folks with asthma in Bermuda, which is a whole bunch of people, control the issue and live healthy, comfortable lives. Now, the $11,500 donation marks the 5th year of this size gift from Argus to OA. Now, this matters since Open Airways has been growing their community outreach and support with their nurses, conducting nearly 500 personal consultations and giving away close to 1,000 spacers last year. Now, to make sure that you are fully looped in, as to why this is so significant. Spacers, as you can see, can help asthma meds hit a patient's airways more than 70% more efficiently. Finally, now for me, this is the really big one. One of our sister British overseas. Oh, this is up for too long. Sorry, y'all. I didn't time that properly. Now, finally, one of our sister British overseas territories is on the brink of losing their constitutional authority to the UK government, a move that was led to conclusion by former governor of Bermuda, John Rankin. Now, the original commission of inquiry was launched in 2021 to investigate government corruption, abuse of office, and serious dishonesty in the British Virgin Islands. The nearly 1,000-page final report published in 2022 left the BVI government looking, in Governor Rankin's words, appallingly bad. The most significant of the 49 recommendations in the report was that BVI's constitution should be suspended and reviewed, and for the UK to impose direct rule on the territory, basically taking over the government for 2 years. Now, that might sound terrifying, but when you hear about an arrest that took place before the report that was published and was apparently completely unrelated to the report, it might start to make a little more sense.
The Premier of the British Virgin Islands and the Director of that Caribbean territory's ports were arrested Thursday, April 28, 2022, on drug smuggling charges in South Florida. Federal authorities said Premier Andrew Arturo Foy and Managing Director Odine Vine Maynard were taken into custody by U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, or DEA, agents at Miami Opa-locka Executive Airport. They were charged with conspiracy to import cocaine and to launder money.
Now, that court case is just in its early stages in Florida, with the second appearance having been made by the former Prime Minister of BVI. Now, all that said, for anybody confused as to why there's pushback against UK control grabs of this sort to prevent corruption, it's because, and we do not remember this often enough in this place in particular, it is because it is clear, undeniable fact that they're not in a position of moral authority on these subjects, or frankly, all that good of avoiding shiesty abuses of power and public money themselves, like at all. For example,
but the former Tory peer Baroness Mohn and her husband Douglas Barrowman wanted to do more than just clap. The government had asked companies to bid for contracts to produce PPE. More than £200 million was paid to PPE MedPro. The consortium was led by Mr. Barrowman. His wife had recommended the company to ministers but denied any involvement to the media.
And that one just happened. And I'm pretty sure that the UK spent close to 10 billion on PPE for the pandemic that either didn't show up or was not fit for use.
But I'm so glad you said
billion, right?
They are not the moral authority. Like
no.
These are people that have committed some of the most atrocious crimes. And
they are actively doing so.
Yeah.
Like this is not legacy stuff. I mean, the legacy stuff you would think would be sufficient, but it's still happening as of 2020. Like this week, these stories always come out. So it always feels a little funny to me when it's not that hypocrisy is all that interesting, because everybody is a hypocrite on some level. Yeah. But in this space and in this arena, saying that you little tiny country are so inept and corrupt that you cannot be trusted to act in your own interests, and we got to take it over. So to get you right, when that kind of stuff is going, it's just hard to take it seriously.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So that's our news report for this morning. Left out the weather. As far as that is concerned for the weekend, do not unzip your windbreaker just yet. A fat chunk of low pressure is rolling across the island later today, dumping some heavy rain and wind on the island all the way through Sunday, while the air temps drop all the way down to the high 50s. As my nana used to say, the hawk will be out, so prep accordingly.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Tay. Tay, you know what today is?
19th of January.
Well, you idiot. Yeah. It's popcorn day.
Oh,
yeah, popcorn day. So anyone who knows me knows my mom. She used to sell popcorn at the gas station. My cousin took over. I'm a big popcorn guy. As you would remember, Teo teasing me back in our radio days. I don't use microwaves, so microwave.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't.
actually, on this is genuinely authentic and sincere. You do not know this, but you converted me to that frame of mind.
No microwave.
Microwave popcorn is disrespectful
Thank
to
you,
the
sir.
dish.
Thank you, sir.
That is not the way to do it.
Thank you, sir.
It's faster. That's the only thing that's better about it, but that's not even necessarily better. If you want something good, do it right.
Do it right. Start doing the popcorn.
Yeah.
Folks, I make my own popcorn, come from a family. So I guess audience, let us know, what is your favorite kind of popcorn? Like, tell you, do you have a favorite, like what's your favorite popcorn?
Is it cool to name specific brands? And
yeah, I want to know your brands. Like what do you like on your popcorn? Do you like butter?
Well, I think I'm one of the purest distillations of the Bermudian palate. That is to say, we like the sweet and the savory together. Cassava pie, right? Sweet cake with chicken in it. On paper, don't sound right, but that thing, it's a banger. It's one of the greatest things Bermuda's ever invented. So with that in mind, the green glam pop bag is my jam. The sweet with the yeast on top of it. It is the perfect snack. Activates all the best parts of your tongue.
Okay. So the green, what color is the bag?
It's a yellow bag, but it's got the green border at the top.
The one I had. I had it for the first time recently.
Okay.
So
it's not.
Yeah.
It ain't just yeast. Like it's definitely different. But once you get it, once it clicks in your head, it's hard to go back. Like I'm not satisfied when I have non-sweet and salty popcorn anymore. But here's an idea for you, Jay. I've been saying this for years, and you are a superior hustler and businessman. Introduce yeasty popcorn to Americans. They don't know nothing about this.
These folks use microwaves. They'd be like,
no, do it proper.
No, that's unfair, because at the fairs and stuff, they use the kettle corn stuff, right?
Yeah,
do that. But you may be onto something, Tay.
And no, I've been thinking about it for years. There's a huge untapped market that would love the perfect snack like this. They don't know nothing about it. Look, 5 years from now, it could be the Jop Corn. I'm sorry, we got to workshop the name, but like Jay's Popcorn in CVS and Walgreens and Target, you will be a trillionaire. I promise you.
Yeah, I mean, Wise has been doing it with that cheese all these years, right? So
no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Audience is saying, what's your popcorn, folks? What do you like on your popcorn? And so we've got Traveling Shawty says Duke's Delight. What's Duke's Delight? Like, what does she put on it? Like,
it's yeast. Well, I think Duke's is a couple of flavors, but the classic standard is just good old yeast, like where you can see the yellow on the top. You eat it in your fingers, you got to go wash your hands for real afterwards, type thing.
Okay, it's really good. From Shawnette Bell, we've got sea salt from Tanya Cheeseman. She's keeping it plain.
All right, classy.
Mark Officer Phillips. We got the yeast glams one. That's the one you want, like, right?
What specifically the sweet and salty, or sweet and yeasty glam pop one. I think he just liked the yeasty one. He's got to take it up a notch, I think.
Okay, we've got.
Oh God. Oh, honey.
Shayna.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby.
He's ranch and on popcorn butter with ranch seasoning. I mean, Teo reacted like that. I mean, I was thinking it, but to each their own. I'll make sure that you have enough ranch seasoning to go with your butter popcorn. So that makes you.
No.
Garrett's from Chicago. I know Chicago was known for mustard and hot dogs.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before. Is it yeasty popcorn, Renee?
Yeah, what is?
Or is it just like kettle corn, nice and salty type thing?
Yeah, well, let's talk to us.
Actually, let me Google it.
Yeah, popcorn is yummy. Duke's Delight is addictive. Okay, I'm gonna have to try this Duke's Delight. Somebody bring me a bag to the airport next month. Ebony Susan says green bag is the best, so I think that's the one.
That's right. Yo, Ebony, did you with it? Oh wow, this is a whole thing. Garrett's Popcorn. They have a website. They've been doing it for a long time, and yeah, no.
Okay.
This is I don't know if you Google it and you can share the screen, you'll see what it is. This is much more like a candy type thing. It looks like really fancy Crunch and Munch.
Really?
Is probably the best way to explain it.
It looks like what's that called? Cracker Jack back in the day?
Yeah. Yes, that's what I meant. Yeah. Real like fancy Cracker Jack, which is dope. Yeah. But I don't see yeast anywhere on there.
Oh, no, we don't see nothing like that. No, that's not what we're doing. We're not going to do that.
No, but I'm telling you, there is an aspiring Bermudian entrepreneur that will be a billionaire in a decade with this type thing. It's the perfect snack. Nobody that's ever tried yeasty popcorn that has a working tongue will not walk away satisfied. Like, it's so good.
Folks, it's popcorn day. Get your popcorn. I'm about to make me some. Well, actually, I have to get some seeds and get some oil. And Taylor, I have like in my storage out there, I have an industry-sized popcorn machine that someone got me as a gift that's never been used. And I don't want to sell it because it was, and I can't remember who got it from me. Like industry size.
No,
like, fierce.
Jay, there's somebody watching the show right now that just like a single tear is going down the side of their face. Like, I can't believe he doesn't remember. I spent $4,500 on that thing.
Yeah, I love you to say him. It's just, man, you're probably right. You know what, Tay? You have a great.
I should have said that. Yeah.
Great, folks. Don't forget, we're going to get back to the conversation. We want to hear your cons. We've got a budget conversation we're having, but get some popcorn so you can enjoy the rest of the show. Popcorn for breakfast.
For sure.
Right,
have a good weekend, y'all.
Yeah.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Place else.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Jamal Hartman, it is me. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Please do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Again, we've got some cool stuff coming up. You're going to want to ensure that you are subscribed to the website so that you can receive these things that may help you a lot. All right. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. So make sure you follow us on all of our social media channels. Real quickly, before we move on, Cattle Popcorn. Yes, that's the one you find at the fairs and stuff. Jamaica Smith says, Suzanne Ingham with yeast, caramel, sweet, and spicy. Honestly, just popcorn is great. Popped up on a stove in a big pot. Bomb Chica Pop. I think I've had that before, and it's actually pretty delicious. Thank you, Sister Traveling Trotty. Says, I got you, Jamal. Get you a bag of Dukes. There we go. And Renee Simmons bigging up that Garrett's popcorn. Well, folks, let's get back to the conversation. So we were discussing what are your thoughts about the mentioned biennial budgets? And again, we asked the question earlier. Most of you were not in favor. You know what? Now that we've had a conversation, everyone's loosened up. Have your thoughts changed? Would you favor a budget every 2 years versus every year? Have your thoughts changed from the beginning of the show? Yes or no? Would you favor the budget every 2 years now? Yes or no? Simple yes or no. Earlier, it was straight no. Is there a maybe? Or are we still stuck on no? Are we sending a message to the Premier of Bermuda that the answer is no, none whatsoever? We're not having it. What are your thoughts? Before we get into the cons, because apparently there are some cons. there are some concerns, and we'll discuss them. But what are your thoughts? What do you think that, are you in favor of the budget every 2 years now? Let us know. Well, we still have a no from Suzanne Ingham. She has not moved. She has not changed. She is still saying no. Unfortunately, that seems to be the consensus, Mr. Premier. So we're going to go back to some of the comments from earlier, and we'll continue the conversation. But again, folks, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to share. But what are your thoughts about the biennial budgets? That's the question of the morning. And so let's go to some comments that we had come in earlier. So Charles H. Jefferson II says his concern, we need more transparency, not less. I actually would like to see quarterly financial reports telling us how we're doing from a revenue and expenses standpoint. That's the most business we do. Well, I had transparency listed here, Charles. By producing a budget or delivering a budget every year doesn't necessarily have, every 2 years doesn't necessarily have to impact the transparency, right? The budget really just gives us an outlook on how the government intends to spend our money. Not just, but that's the big thing, like how they intend to spend our money. So I'm fine if that's what they're doing every 2 years, telling us how they intend to spend it. What I think you're talking about is, okay, they can still do every 2 years like that, but we want, if they're going to do that, we want reports on a regular basis, maybe on a quarterly basis, is how is that going? So I don't think it should impact transparency with the right people in charge. Larry Marshall also said the lack of transparency that already exists is my issue, right? So I think these are valid concerns. These are valid concerns. Let's be honest. Again, this is a government that people already don't trust with money, right? Suzanne Ingham says, so do you think every 2 years will truly make a difference? I'm not convinced they'll do it any better. Well, I think this is a concern for everyone, Suzanne Ingham. I think that the idea of the government budget is to give people confidence that the money, the taxpayers' dollars are being spent in the best interest of the taxpayer, right? If we don't feel that's happening every 12 months based on what's given to us, I understand why people will be concerned that every 24 months would be of greater concern. Now, people have these conspiracies or thoughts or ideas of why the government may be doing this, right? That cash windfall that may be coming from the corporate tax. At least we hope it's going to be. It's going to help them a bit, right? Address that, not shortfall, but the balancing of the budget. We've got Monica Dunstan says, when your finances are in shambles, you should be looking at more frequently, not less. It's that simple. It's that simple. I don't think even the idea or suggestion should be touted. But again, I can't help but go back to what the Honorable Mark Bean said last week, folks. It's like CARICOM, right? It's not on, a bad thing, but why now? Why is that of importance? So why now are we speaking about a budget every other year? Why is it of importance now? Why now? Renee Simmons says 2 years, no. And Karen Simmons says no more frequency than 2 years is important. Amari Simon says, during the annual budget debate in Parliament, they spend like 4 hours on each department. Does that mean they'll spend 10 hours for a 2-year budget? Well, and I think he meant 8. But I don't know if you all have tuned into the House of Assembly during budget debates, but it's long and drawn out. And it's done politically to tire the other side out so they lose interest and the like. so that the people lose interest as well? This is an important question. Because if it's held, let's use it like an election in politics. There are people who really do not care about politics until an election comes around. Will people lose interest in the financial state of the country even more if we go from annual to biennial budgets? That's something we should think about. Suzanne Ingham says, they can't give us reports on a regular basis. How can they manage to do it better every 2 years? You want to know where our taxpayers' money is going, and we can't even get that. Every 2 years is not going to make it any better. Audience, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on biannual budget? I do feel this is but political. It would be, again, politicians do nothing unless it's politically expedient. I repeat, politicians do nothing unless it's politically expedient. So we must ask ourselves, how much more do those in charge benefit from a biennial budget versus an annual budget? Ask ourselves that. Seriously. It's not about us. And if this is something that the people do not want, then the people need to ensure that their government knows it's something that they do not want. Suzanne Ingham says that's the point. If we tire out, then they do as they please. I concur. If they do it biennial, people might lose interest. Karen Simmons says, is this an okie doke? Look this way and not what is important. She mentions that hotel up on the hill, Fairmont. We got to wake up, open our eyes. We have to pay attention, folks. Larry Marshall says, excellent and important conversation this morning. Please like and share. Folks, please do. Please, as Larry just said, wherever you're tuned in, please like, please share. Make sure your friends, your family, your colleagues know what's going on. We get on Twitter and we engage daily. We go on Instagram and we show our best selves. Meanwhile, our country is rotting. This is not fear-mongering, by the way. I don't get to go on Facebook and explore Magis lists often, but someone shared something from there recently. And it was basically it was the old Victoria Hall building, I think it was. Looked like vagrants were there and it was junky. And I said, isn't that the building the government gave to a crypto company at one point? I only shared that not to make light or fun of anyone's situation, but to remind us when we say our country is rotting, this isn't opinion. I have nothing to gain from saying that. I own businesses in Bermuda. I want Bermuda to do well. You probably have heard me criticize the government and speak poorly about the government. And maybe a government quango here and there. But publicly, I don't shame businesses. I don't shame businesses. I don't shame entities that, in my opinion, are doing what governments can't do, which governments are not honest about, which is create opportunity and pay into the economy. Bermuda's in a very bad state. I am not Jason Hayward that I'm going to sit up here and tell you otherwise. The Honorable Mark Bean, when we spoke last week about why don't more people speak up, stand up, or resign in the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party. He mentioned, people get into the PLP, they can't find jobs, right? Folks, if this is true, which it is, It's one thing I was told by my cousin many years ago. Take care of yourself before you get into politics. Establish yourself. It just tells me we have a very unintelligent group of people who chose politics before they established themselves. You know, we shouldn't have people who will do anything to hold on to power simply so that they can have a way to live. Politics should not be anyone's only option to a living. And when it does become that, we have dangerous situations like what we have right now. So if you ask me my thought on whether or not I'm in favor of biannual budgets, currently, I need more to say yes. But as of today, right now, the answer for me is no. But that doesn't mean my mind can't change. That doesn't mean my mind can't change. So I look forward to hearing more from the Bermuda Premier and government as to what the pros are, the benefits are, so that we can move this country forward. Cherie Dill says, what's the rationale given for no annual? Sorry if I missed it. I'm not opposed to a long-term view. Maybe there should be a 3 to 5 year plan and annual budget to track to the longer term plan. Cherie, it's just a mention right now, a suggestion. No real rationale given, but I believe that it's really just so that the government can focus on getting things done. But I understand that the concerns people have about trusting a government that has been traditionally poor with money management. Even with this windfall of cash that may come from the corporate tax, I understand why people are so concerned about this government being the government of the day if that windfall of cash does come. Right? Renee Simmons says, if companies are required to submit an annual financial statements, why should government have the right to provide a budget in 2-year period? That's losing more transparency of our finances. All right, so let's go to a commercial break. We're going to come back. Folks, you have to be tuned in. I'm going to call a name until the person who is tuned in responds, but someone's going to win a voucher today who has answered the questions right over the last 2 weeks. And we also have another daily play. So stick with us. Do not go anywhere.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Let's kick it off in the footwear department. When it comes to footwear, we carry functional, comfortable, orthopedic, and waterproof shoes. We have construction shoes, golf shoes, shoes for walking, shoes for boating. We even have shoes for pickleball. We have shoes for everyone. With brands by Skechers, Atrax, Propay, Easy Street, Nursemates, Clogs, Avenger, Cherokee, Cat, Frog Talks, and DeWalt. The list goes on. Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Pair with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear. You can't go wrong. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can be stylish and comfortable at the same time? Speaking of stylish, we also have top-quality running, walking, and workout apparel by Skechers in a variety of sizes for men and women. Cool, breathable, and dry. With our wide selection of Skechers footwear, you'll look great before, during, and after your workout. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
You'll be surprised at everything we have to offer at our huge new retail and wholesale location on Bakery Lane.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can have these conversations with you on a daily basis. Folks, if you've appreciated today's discussion, conversation, news break, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like, and please share these most important community conversations with your friends, your family, your colleagues. These are the conversations that can move the needle in Bermuda. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Audience, are you ready? Where's the question to? All right, here we are. Are you ready? Oh. This is one for, I guess, the ladies. One for the ladies. Here we are. Here's the question. What brand is behind the iconic perfume number 5? What brand is behind the iconic perfume number 5? Well, the first to show up on my screen was Rosalind Famous. She said Chanel. I didn't know that, but everyone apparently did. Ebony Souza said Chanel, and Mark Arthur C. Phillips said Chanel, and Sheikha Reyna said Chanel, and Karen Simmons said Chanel, and Suzanne Ingham, and Roselda Severin, and Charles H. Jefferson II, and Shawnette. I mean, man, I'm not deluded. I didn't know nothing about that. All right, so congratulations to Rosalind. I can't find a piece of paper for you, Rosalind, to put your name in a drawer today. So forgive me. I don't know where I put the paper. I think I lost it, Rosalind. So we'll have to check you next time, Rosalind. So let's do a little shaky shake, see who's going to get it. And again, folks, you have to be tuned in to win. All right, I've said that from jump. Please do not send in message saying, was your name pulled? Because it will probably be ignored. So who's going to win? And it's a $25 voucher here. Let's see. And you have to respond within the 20 seconds there if you win. Leslie White, you in the house? Let's see. She's got, by the time to respond, if she don't win, we're going back in the cut. Leslie White. And you know what? If everyone's not here, then Rosalind Famous gets it. Nope, no Leslie White. All right, let's go back in. Karen Simmons, are you in his house? Karen Simmons, saw you in the comments earlier. Are you in his house? Karen Simmons. We've got about 10 more seconds. Karen Simmons. She answered the question correctly earlier this week, I think. Oh. All right, she's in his house. Everyone, give congrats and celebratory remarks to Karen Simmons. She is the winner. Please send us an email to engage@thedailyhour.com. Folks, let me just say this before I head out. Hey, if it's early in 2024, lessons I've learned, and I'm going to pick on Maya real quickly. We had Connor Smith on last week, the day after the Honorable Mark Bean, and he said something. And when I watched Maya on this show earlier this week, I wrote a long message to my partners, and I said, I don't think that it's just about work ethic with Maya, because there are a lot of hard workers. I said, I don't think it's just about passion with Maya, because there are a lot of people who have passion about what it is they're doing. I think what separates people like Maya from so many others, it's what Connor Smith said. When he said, he spoke about so many talented players the world over, but it's the things that you do when no one's watching that make the difference. In Maya's preparation for her news, if you knew what she put into it versus others, you would be like, wow, all that for a few minutes a day. So imagine what she did in preparation for a 1 hour show. There will be a case study done on someone like her. So I hear people saying, oh, work hard and passion, and it's all important. And I don't disagree. But in the age of social media, sometimes it's what you do when no one is watching, when the lights are off, that makes all the difference in how far you can go. So I just want to once again give Maya Palacio the credit and love and respect that she deserves. And my hope is that she does not lose that desire to continue to become better and better and better. Because there's no ceiling to what she can accomplish. And I mean it. I will tell you all, if you got young people or just people in general, because there's just not, this doesn't discriminate against age, regardless of what age you are. In the age of showing everybody what we're doing, work on those things that will make you better when no one's watching. And when they are watching, they'll get to see the best of you. Trust me. Maya's an example of it. All right, time for the daily inspiration. And it's only right that is we did celebrate the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King this week. This is one of my favorite quotes right here. Quote, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." End quote. Dr. Martin Luther King. Folks, please do not forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, and Lindo's and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you on Monday. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great weekend. I am is out. Peace.